So it was just another day, or at least it started out like any other day. I got up and I got out of bed, I brushed my teeth, I showered, I had some breakfast and my usual 3 cups of coffee, and then I brushed my teeth again so that no one had to smell my morning breath wherever I went. I grabbed my keys and my purse and I started walking down the road. I noticed the sidewalk and how uneven it had become. The neighbor's dog ran up to sniff and to lick my feet. I passed by that spot that's infamous for having drainage problems, and the stuff was leaking and oozing out on the ground. Apparently, it still didn't get fixed. I passed by people who were shopping downtown, at the market, the clothing stores, at the bakeries. No one stopped me or talked to me, but that's no surprise. Most of them never really do. I even passed by the beggar who has made it his habit to set up shop at the corner of Phoenix and Broadway. He sets his little cup out and he continues to yell something that I still can't even understand. But just past him is where I go into the synagogue. I enter there through the main door after going up a couple of steps. The flowers in front of the synagogue always look so pretty, but they're going to need to start paying attention to those stairs. They're getting pretty yucky. I go to the synagogue most every day, even if there are no services. I like going there because it's the one place where I hear less comments about who and what I am, and where I can feel fewer people stare at me for long periods of time. The bottom line truth is that I need this place, and I even need the people who are inside the synagogue. I need to hear from God, and nothing, absolutely nothing, is going to get in the way of that. I get to the synagogue a little bit late, and I absolutely hate being late. It feels like such a bother to have to climb over people. You never know how sure you are of how much of the service that you've missed, or if people are going to look at you with disapproving stares, but hey, at least I'm used to that one. Being late is a reality in life sometimes, though. It's just how things work out, and that's okay. As I get into the worship space, I hear a different voice than I'm used to. We must have a guest rabbi today. It's a little more crowded around me than it usually is as well. Normally I can sneak in and I can find a seat toward the back with little disruption, but not today. No one is saying anything, and the guy up front just stopped talking. I can feel my mouth start to take that big gulp that I'm so used to. They've seen me. He's seen me. Great, just what I need, another person to look at me. It's never good when they look at me. All they do is stare. Most folks don't really know what to say about me or even to me. And they really can't even look at me unless they bend over to meet my eye, which is almost surely not something anyone does. They see me hunched over like Quasimodo with my eyes to the ground, not able to look up and to meet their own eyes, and that makes having a conversation a little bit hard. But this guy up front was teaching, and now he's stopped, probably long enough to say to himself, "Oh good, the freak show is here." But wait, he's calling me. He wants me to come up there. Why? I don't need any more attention drawn to me. It isn't easy being weighed down with this condition, you know. People call me names like cripple, crip, weirdo, freak show, or that lady. It's like people don't understand that I don't wish this on myself or anyone else either. I can't stand up straight no matter how hard I try. It just hurts. Heck, most of my life hurts. All I can do is look at the ground. I can't see anything except what's straight in front of me. I can't even look. I couldn't even see the look on my cousin's face when she got married a month ago. All I could see was the green grass right below. This has been what I've dealt with for 18 long years. They say it's because of his spirit, but it isn't like any other person I've known who has been taken over by his spirit. I'm less human because of this condition. People mock me, they call me names, they treat me like I don't matter, and after a while, the truth is, I started believing that I really didn't matter. But all that changed when I went up front that day. The guest rabbi said to me, "Woman, you are free from your ailment." He laid his hands on me, and then I was able to get up and look him in the eye. I was able to look everyone else in the eye and to see the beautiful synagogue around me that I had been missing. This rabbi must have been Jesus, the one that everybody has been talking about, because only he would have the audacity to say that to me. And I'm glad it was him, because I was set free. I could move. The pain was gone. I couldn't do anything else that day. No. Nothing else seemed right than to praise God. And so I ran up and down the aisles. I hollered. I cooed. I sang. And no one was going to shut me up. Not that day. Not that day. This is a remarkably different story than what we get this morning in our gospel reading from Luke than what we've gotten in the previous 2 weeks. Jesus goes in to teach in a synagogue like he normally does, and he sees this woman walk in, as you've heard, who was somehow bound up by the power of a spirit that constricts her for 18 long years. Maybe it's a spinal problem or severe scoliosis or the result of an accident, but whatever it is, it's not right. And Jesus sees that. Jesus himself is a people person and a feeling person. So whenever he sees someone suffering, most of the time he's going to fix it. And this woman is also a Jewish woman. And although Jesus is for everyone, she's like family. She's a daughter of Abraham, just like he is a son of Abraham. And so Jesus invites her up front. Jesus invites family up front. And he says to her, "Woman, you are set free from your ailment." And then he lays his hands on her. But I suspect that Jesus doesn't just lay his hands on her back. Yeah, he does that, but I'll bet that he bends all the way down, getting on her level so that she can see the eyes of God, whom Jesus is in the flesh, looking right at her. That's what God does. God sees us. God bends down to look into our faces and also says to us that we are set free from our ailments, whatever those things may be. Whether it's health problems or addictions to cocaine or drugs or booze or sex or gambling or depression or anxiety or fear or things that would lead to harming ourselves or others or any host of other things that we might not know or be aware of. We're set free, just like this woman, no questions asked. Jesus does get a little bit of a flack, though, from the leader of the synagogue. He's pretty angry at Jesus, not for healing this woman, mind you, but for the fact that Jesus heals on the Sabbath day. We've all been taught, probably, that the Sabbath day is a day of rest, not for work. If you were a Jewish person keeping to the letter of the law, you would do nothing on the Sabbath day but worship. No laundry, no mowing, no housework, just rest. The synagogue leader probably presumes, since he's seen this woman week after week, sometimes day after day, that her illness is not life-threatening, so why could her healing not wait one more day? Jesus' response to him is scathing and harsh, but it's simple. No. No institution, no ideology, no theology gives us an excuse for delaying wholeness and extending suffering. In the Sabbath, when God rested from the labors of creation, God completed and made everything whole. God values wholeness, and that necessitates that she is healed now. So no, it can't wait. You release your own animals and give them food and water on the Sabbath, but she has to wait? No, this can't wait. The good news for us is just that same thing this morning. The good news in the life of the church is what we call the gospel, and the gospel is God will not wait to bring about wholeness for us either. Now, there are things that we as humans do to delay wholeness for ourselves or for other people that can make all of us suffer. We can cause injustice, we can oppress, we can ignore and fail to see the dignity of other people. All of those things can cause us to wait and to delay wholeness. And sometimes waiting is good, sure, but not when it causes other people to suffer. If another sister or brother is in anguish or danger, and then my waiting or my unwillingness to see or to listen to them becomes complacency and self-regard. The oppression of this woman led Jesus to act and to heal on the Sabbath. What would lead us to act today? What are the things that we can't say no to on behalf of our brothers, sisters, or neighbors? Whose similar circumstances or conditions or misfortunes demand urgency for us today? Who experiences fear on a regular basis? Who remains shackled and chained unfairly? Who are the least and the forgotten in our society? By our death and by our resurrection with Jesus in our baptisms, God has set us free from all of our ailments. But God hasn't just set us free from things. God has set us free for things. For spreading the good news about that freedom in our world, for caring for others in the world God made, and for working for justice and peace in all the earth. Well, if that's true, dear friends, and we've been freed both from and for, then why do so many of us still think we can wait?